Hello everyone and welcome back to Computer Science for Self-Taught, and I hope you have studied a lot about fragments on my previous tutorials, so I hope you have understood something from them. Now it's time for the next subclass of our fragments, which is our dialog fragment. We have already discussed about this, that there are some subclasses of fragments which are called specialized classes, and those specialized classes are divided into three subclasses, which are list fragment, as I've discussed about this in the previous tutorial, and dialog fragment. In this tutorial I'm going to cover about dialog fragment, and in the next video that is going to upload tomorrow, it will be about preference dialog fragment. So now let's see what is dialog fragment. A dialog fragment is nothing but it is based on the confirmation that you want to pop up to your user. For example, if you want to delete some entity from the database or SQLite or Firebase database, and you want to get a confirmation from your user, so you can use the dialog fragment because it's so easy and you can use it many times. Because the main purpose of fragment is code reusability. You create one fragment and you can use it in many other places. So let's see. Let's create our dialog fragment. First, I'm going to show you dialog fragment in two practical examples. The first example will be so easy, and it is only just a class. And the next example that I'm going to cover in this video is about I'm creating a layout, and I'm using that layout for our dialog fragment. First, I'm going to only use the dialog fragment. So I'm going to name my class dialog class. Make sure that you extend from the dialog fragment support v for app. Okay, this is you must export exactly from this library and click OK. Now in here we need to override the on create dialog method. We need to override it on create dialog. In here what we need to do is we need to create our dialog. All our dialog, make sure that you import it from support v7 library because it provides backward compatibility to the previous versions of Android. And from this class I'm going to use the builder, which is also from v7 library. All our dialog builder equals to new all our dialog dot builder, and now it requires the context. As of you know that fragments are a piece of activity, I'm going to use the get context because it's going to get that activity to which this fragment is rendered. Get context. So now we need to set the icon, message, cancel and negative button to this one by using the builder dot set title. I'm going to name it warning, and builder dot set icon. I'm going to use a built-in icon of Android. If you have got another icon that you want to use in this fragment, dialog fragment, you can import that picture inside this folder, and you can use and you can access this folder by using idr dot drawable dot name of that icon. So as of now I don't have any icon. I'm going to use the built-in icons of Android. How to use the built-in Android icons? So I'm going to use android dot r dot drawable. If you click in here, you can see a lot of icons as the prefix of IC. So I'm going to use the IC delete. Now I'm going to use the builder.set message. Are you sure about this? Okay. Now we have to set cancelable outside. False, because user must click either OK or cancel. If he touches other side of his screen, it won't dismiss. So let's set the positive and negative button. Builder.set positive, and it requires two parameters. One is text and another one is handler. So the text should be yes, and next the handler, new, on click. Make sure that you import it from the dialog interface, otherwise it gives error, and put semicolons in here. And now in here I do not want to, in here I'm going to write my code for the delete operation, and now I'm going to write and I'm going to handle the cancel button here also. Builder.set negative button, and it requires two parameters also, and I'm going to handle the event of this also here. Or you can also chain this code like this. Come in here and call dot set negative button, no, new, on click listener. So now I need to return the object of our dialog that we have created. So as you can see, it requires a return type of dialog. So we need to return this in here, builder.create. So for each class I want to use this dialog. If you do not understand what I'm doing right now, don't worry, you will understand it so soon. So I'm going to create a method public. So I'm going to use a singleton design pattern, because it allows us to create one object and use it many times, because it is a pattern that allows you to share one object among many objects. So I'm going to access a specifier for this. It should be static, and the return type is dialog class, new instance. So I'm going to create one object and I'm going to use it many times. Dialog class equals to new dialog class, return dialog class. You can see the method is static. It means that this method is shared between many objects. You call it directly by the name of the class. You do not need to make an object of the dialog class and then you call this method. Main activity, I've already created a button in here. I'm just going to change the ID for this, btn open. Now we come inside here. I've already created an object of button, b equals to button, find v by id r.id.btn open, b.set on click listener, new on click listener. Now I'm going to create the object of dialog class. Dialog class, as you have already know that we have created a method that creates only one object and use it many times. It means that you share this object among many objects. So by calling the class, we can call this method dot new instance. Now we need to show this dialog class dot show, and it requires two parameters. The first parameter, it requires an object of fragment manager. So we can give get fragment manager, and it requires a tag. Let's give our dialog a name, dialog class. So I have to pass the object of get support fragment manager. So that's it. So I haven't handled the OK and cancel button, because if I handle those methods in here, so it will be statically. So I want to do this dynamically. To do this dynamically, you need to create the methods in here. For example, public void dot. So we want to get access to our main activity to these methods. So how to access the methods of our activity inside Fragment? If we want to access anything from activity inside the Fragment, I mean if I want to access these methods inside our main activity, so what should I do to access them? So you need to cast this. So write main activity. Okay, now I want get activity, which returns our main activity, and in here if I put a dot, I can access to both of those methods, delete. Okay, If I click on the yes button, so this is going to call the delete method of our main activity. So in here, if I'm going to do the same thing, main activity, make sure that you do not put dot, otherwise it won't work. Just call get activity, because it returns an activity which is type of main activity. It is a cast class. We are going to cast it to our main activity. Dot cancel, control S and save. So let's come to our main activity. So whenever I click on the button, it's going to create the dialog, and this dialog has two buttons, which has a title as the name of warning, an icon of delete, and it shows a message, and the cancelable is false. And we have two buttons, positive button which is yes, and negative button. When I press on positive button, it's going to call the delete method of our main activity, which is this one. And if I click no, it's going to call the cancel method of our main activity. Let's run and see the output by your own eyes. So this is the click button, which I have written that button in here. If I come into design panel, you can see it is the button. I have handled that button in the main activity. When I click on the button, it's going to pop up the dialog class, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to delete? You see, this is the dialog class, and it is the dialog. You can see the warning is the title of this, and you can see the icon of delete icon, and this is the message. And if I click in and set cancelable false, and positive button which is yes, this is the button, and no, this is the button. When I click on no button, it's going to call the cancel method of main activity. So I click yes, so it says deleted successfully. If I click again, if I click no, it says deletion cancelled, which called the methods inside our main activity. So it is the first example. Let's haven't understand anything from here, just let me know in the comment section below. So let's jump to our next example, which we are going to create a layout inside our race folder, layout folder, and we use that layout folder for the creation of our dialog. So I have resumed the video. I have cleared the recently code, so I'm going to create a custom dialog for myself. For that, I'm going to create a class, a layout file. I'm going to name this main dialog, and I choose the relative layout for this one and click OK. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to write all the widgets in here, because the aim of this video is you can understand how to create your custom dialog in Android. So I'm going to pause the video and I write some widgets in here. So this is our widgets. I have created two text view and one button. This text view indicates our header, which says this is a fragment, and width and height wrap content. Center horizontal, it means put it in the center but in horizontal form, and it is horizontal, and here is the center. And this is the text, and I have choose a unique ID, and text size of header should be 18 sp, and this is the color for that, and this is the background color. So this is our button. I have also center horizontal to true, and open dialog as its text, and from margin top at 20 dp, and it should be below our heading. And another text view which I'm going to pass the values from the custom dialog to the fragment. The aim of this tutorial is how to pass data from the dialog to the fragment. So let's I'm going to create another layout of our dialog. It is our main fragment. Let's name it custom dialog, and choose the relative layout for this also. So again, I'm going to pause the video and I put the widgets in here. So that's it. This is our second layout. That's the name of custom dialog, and I've created a layout, and width and height. The width of this layout is much better, and the height of is 200 dp, and from padding inside is 10 dp. And I've created a text view which is here. You can read the tags by yourself. And I also created an edit text which user enters some text to this one and pass from this dialog to the fragment. So this is our text view okay, and this is our text view cancel. So now I'm going to create their classes. I'm going to create their classes. I'm going to pause the video. So that's it. I've created two classes. The first main fragment that extends from fragment, and I've overridden the on create view, and I call the main dialog, which is this one. And I have also handled their buttons. When I click on the open dialog, it's going to open the dialog. I've created my custom dialog. If I open this one, so it is the custom dialog. This is what your custom dialog looks like. In here you can also see that. So let's go to its class. So and the on create, I've also handled the cancel. If the user clicks on cancel button, so I use the get dialog, the current dialog, and dismiss that. And if the user clicks on the OK button, I'm going to take the input from that dialog, and I cast the get activity to main fragment, which is this one, and I use the get support manager, and I find them by their main fragment, because I've already give a tag for our main fragment inside our main activity. So this is this fragment. Okay, this fragment, I've given this fragment tag as the name of main fragment. By this fragment inside the custom dialog, we access that fragment, and we use the input of main fragment, which is this one. Okay, as you can see, here is the ID. I have initialized this inside the main fragment. You can also see that. Let me see main fragment. Okay, m input display, and inside the custom dialog I have set its input, and after that I dismiss the dialog. Let's see the output, and I'm going to re-review the code for all of you, so if you missed anything you can write it. It is our activity main, it is our main activity. So this is the code, make sure that you write it correctly. And it is our main fragment, and it is the layout of the class. Here are the codes, and it is the custom dialog. Here are the codes of it, and it is the layout for our custom dialog. You can also see the result on the right side corner, and it is our main dialog, which is, this is the class of it, this one, my main fragment. Okay, so this brings us to the end of this particular tutorial. If you're new to this tutorial, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon and give us a thumb up and share these videos with your friends. And if you have any questions, and if you have a problem of understanding it, make sure that you re-review the video from the beginning. And if you want to know more about it, just let me know in the comment section below. So till next video, have fun learning. Goodbye.